Hi everyone, I'm Tom and today I'm going to be showing you Verdant, which is a new game from Flatout Games in their Loose series, started by Calico and continued by Cascadia, both of which you can see videos for on the channel. This is a tableau building game. We're going to be laying these cards out, cards of plants and rooms. We're going to be trying to provide the perfect condition for these plants to become as verdant as possible, and that will score us big points. Verdant is on Kickstarter right now. I'll put a link to the campaign page in the description and the corner of the screen so you can go and check out all of the final stuff. This is a prototype, but it should give you a very good idea of what the final game will be like. And if you'd like to help me keep making things, there's a link to my Patreon in the description also. Your support will be massively appreciated. So, in Verdant, I mentioned already, we are trying to lay out these rooms and these plants in a 5x3 grid eventually. So, yes, there will be some zooming out. We start out with a random plant and a random room drawn from the deck, and you can arrange them however you want. So the first way that your plants are going to get verdancy is from the rooms. Light comes into the rooms in different ways, shown by the sun, partial shade, and shade symbols on there. Your plants too have a perfect lighting condition, so jasmine is okay being in light and partial shade, so I've put it in partial shade there. This means it gets a verdancy on it. In the corner of my card, it tells me how much verdancy jasmine will need. 9 tokens on there, so it's going to be a bit of a big ask, but if I can do it, I'll get 11 points at the end of the game. Little Glass Marty over here, on the other hand, has started off with a bit of a better combo. So he's got the common geranium, doesn't need as much verdancy. He's put it in the right lighting conditions, so he can pop 1 on it. So he's 20% of the way there already. But the other thing that the rooms do is score points for having certain types of plants next to them. So the colour of the room and the colour in the corner of the plant tells you the type. So already Marty's getting a bonus point for having the right plant adjacent to this room. So my plant has the most verdancy on it. That means I start the game. But in exchange, Marty does get 2 green thumb tokens, which can be very handy. There is also an advanced setup with some gold cards, but I'll talk about that at the end. So we have a display here of cards and tokens. On your turn, you're going to take a token and then a card from the same column, just one of the cards. So it can be a plant and a token or a room and a token. And what goes into that is so many things. You want, of course, the right lighting conditions to get verdancy right on your plant as soon as you put it down. You want the right color of plant to go next to the room and score bonus points. And also you want the perfect tokens. There are different types and we can see some out here now. So we've got pets, items. So you get points at the end for having as many unique items as possible. Doesn't matter the color of the background of it. That matters. Like in this case here, if I was to take this room and this token, if your token matches the color of the room, then it will score double at the end of the game. So 2 points for every correct plant that's adjacent to it. Maybe I'd want to try and get the correct plant first and then put that down later. But will it still be there once Marty sees what I'm up to? The green tokens can give you nurture actions. These are ways of getting more verdancy onto your plant. You can store an item once you've gained it as well. Only 1 in your item storage. You don't have to use it or place it straight away. The watering can adds a verdancy to every plant adjacent to a particular room. The fertilizer adds up to 3 verdancy to 1 particular plant of yours. And the hand trowel can come out, and that lets you add 1 verdancy to up to 3 different plants. So I might think, oh, my jasmine is the right color. I could pop this room on there and it's in the right lighting conditions. So I would get another verdancy on my jasmine. I can save this storage because, it adds 1 to any plant adjacent to 1 room. So I probably want to get more plants adjacent to here before I was to spend that. So then a new room comes out, a new token comes out, and on the card that wasn't chosen from the column, it gets a green thumb token. So the person to claim that card will get all of the green thumb tokens on it. Now Marty, since he was second, does start with 2 green thumbs. So what they do is you can spend them to wipe any number of tokens from the market and redraw from the bag. You can spend them to kind of break the rules of having to take a particular token and card. You can take any token and any card. Or you could spend the 2 tokens to add 1 verdancy to any plant, especially if you're racing to complete them or it's getting towards the end of the game and you just need 1 more. You can only have a maximum of 5 green thumbs as well, so get them spent if they're building up. So Marty, yeah, that is a great combination, but it's not the type of plant that he's got. But he could start a bit of a long game here. He could get the Angel Wing Begonia and just put this token into storage, maybe until he's got a pink room for it to go on. It can go in any lighting conditions at all, so why not just pop it here? So it gets a verdancy on it for being in the correct lighting conditions, and it's scoring an extra point because of the room type that's on there. New things come out, we get a green thumb on that card. So skipping forward to a little bit later, what happens when you complete a plant? Marty has just drafted another watering can token. He can't keep both, and so he might as well spend it. So a verdancy on any of the plants adjacent to a single room. He's going to pick this pink room, so that means 1 on the palm, 1 on the begonia, and 1 on the hens and chicks, which is its third. It only needs 3 verdancy to be completed. When you complete a plant, you can take all of the verdancy off it and take the highest value plant pot. So the highest is 3 points. There are different amounts of the different pots depending on your player count, but there's always unlimited terracotta pots which aren't worth any extra points. That plant is potted and complete now. And so as we continue through the game, you start to define your grid. So we've each already defined the 3 rows of it. There's nothing going to go above here. There's nothing going to go below here. And also you can only have 5 cards across. So within these limits, you start to see the restrictions of what you've done. And you can start to spot that while a particular color might not score a lot by putting a room down, it might have the perfect lighting conditions for the plants that you've already placed. So something that at first you didn't think was that great can suddenly become really good for you points wise. And so if we say this was the game, then at the end you count your completed plants. So easy to find, they're the ones with pots on. Then you look at the verdancy you've got left on your plants and divide it by 2, rounded down. So I've got 2, 4, 7. So divided by 2 rounded down is 3 points. Marty has 2, 4, 6, so 3 points for him as well, so just 1 point in it. Now your pots, these are 3s, so I've got 3, 6, this one's a 2, 8, 9 points for my pots. Marty has got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so wasn't as fast but completed more plants. Your rooms care about the colour of plants, and remember if they've got a matching coloured item in there, you get double points. So suddenly jumped up to 9 points in the lead there. Did I get more items even? So different items. The duplicates I just had for the matching colour, even though here I realise now it was a complete waste of time. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different items. Not that many. That's 12 points. I think Marty did that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different items. Didn't care that a colour didn't match sometimes because... yeah, it still counts for a different item. And then there is a plant collector bonus. Did you get all of the different colours of plants? Well, no. I got 1, 2... I only got 3 different colours of plants. I did not get an orange, did not get a yellow. And Marty either. We weren't really going for that. I did manage to get the room collector bonus. 3 points if you got all 5 different room types. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think it's going to catch me up, though. Marty nowhere near. But got very lucky matching up all of those pinks and yellows. And so our final scores, Marty would have done much, much better than me in this example. But there are also extra things. You see these gaps on the score sheet here. There are special goal cards. So there are 3 different decks. There are room goals, item goals, and plant goals. You shuffle these up at the start of the game and draw one of each for people to go for all the way through. So they can be things that have the most of something or just points for each thing. So Diversified Designer would give all the players 2 points for each row with unique room types. So no rows where you're doubling up on rooms, or it could be each room with 2 or more matching plants. Each room with a matching item could be worth more points. So they will be much more attractive in the display. Item goals, you could have 4 points for the most pets. Friendly ties, so everyone gets it if there's a tie in there. So rather than just collecting all of the items, pets would be even more attractive. So I had 3 different pets. So did Marty, actually, in this case. But friendly ties, we would both, it would be a wash. 2 points for each pair of items of the same colour. And then plant goals, it could be 2 points for each completed plant that had a verdancy of 7 or more. So it can be very risky, especially near the end of the game, going for these really high verdancy plants. They're worth a fair few points, but if they're worth an extra 2, even more incentive to go for them. Or each row with unique plant types, no doubling up on the colours of plants. 2 points for each missing plant type. So could be even better to really focus in on a couple of colours, but you're at the mercy of what comes in the display sometimes and what other people take away from you. But loads and loads more options when all of that is turned on. So that is Verdant. I hope that's given you a good idea of what the game is like and whether you'd like to check out the Kickstarter page. If you'd like to know what we thought of it, then you can check out my first impressions that will be linked at the end of the video, or it's in the description now if you don't want to wait for a goodbye. But here is a goodbye. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you for the next game.